Hey,
Hey!
what's happening?
It's Gregarious Joy.
We're back.
Good morning.
And we're bad.
Yeah, we're bad. We're back.
We're back and we're bad. How you doing out there
Oh my God.
on this great Monday morning?
It's a pretty day out.
It's a beautiful
It's
day
gorgeous.
out.
I'm wearing my summer colors, my summer print.
And we've
Getting
been
into
having some
summer.
wonderful weather here in Las Vegas.
God, it's starting to be pretty. It's,
Yeah,
it's
my
like
God.
I love it when it doesn't get too hot yet. You know, it's
Yeah.
still around 100.
No, it's in the 90s, high 90s.
Well, it doesn't get past 90. That's even better.
Yeah, when it gets to the
It's Las
hundreds, feel like somebody just opened up a oven and the heat just
Oh God.
powers out.
It's bad.
It's a dry heat. It's a dry heat.
It's intense. So anyway.
As we
We're
always
here.
start off
Gregarious Joy.
our Monday with a
Affirmation.
with an affirmation.
Go ahead. You're the guy.
Okay.
You do it. I love how you speak. I love the sound of your voice. It's beautiful the way you share your messages when you do these.
Thank you. That's so very kind of you, Joy, Bettina Joy. The thought for today is life is a team sport. Life is a team sport. And divine order is always at work. And I joyously participate in the orderly unfold of good. It is the external and exquisite process by which all things come into existence. My very life is evidence of the graceful movement of God. Each one of us is an essential participant in spirit. I surrender to divine order by aligning myself with Spirit. I surrender to divine order by aligning myself with Spirit. Through a regular process of prayer and meditation, I intentionally open my life as a channel through which God's order, love, and light radiate into our world. So, as a team player and as a team sport, life is a team sport.
What does that say to you?
What it says to me through reading what I just shared is that you include Spirit, God in your daily process. You may include your family, your friends, your co-workers, but do you actually spend time and ask God to participate and to be in your daily activities? I know it makes a difference. It makes a difference in my life. There's a funny saying that I say sometimes, and that is that everybody who's sitting on the john in the bathroom at work isn't doing the number one or the number two. You know, I would go into the bathroom and close the door.
Or 3. They're probably going into number 4, which is God. They're going for number 4.
You know, I sit there in the silence and I talk to Spirit. If there's something that's going on at work that is annoying me, someone that is annoying me, some situation is bothering me, just go in, close the door, or wherever. If you are working for a corporation that has a park or somewhere for you to sit and talk and have a conversation with God. Include Spirit into your daily process. And you will find that your outcomes will exceed your wildest expectations. Trust me on that.
Something shifts.
Yeah,
when you
something
just
does
stop and
shift.
talk with Spirit. I feel a humbleness that comes over me. I get, almost teary-eyed. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's kind of like a moment to just step back and not be who I've been, and just think about the best self I can be, and ask God who that is, and ask Him to take a role.
Well, you are being very emotional about this, so can you share with me a situation where you included Spirit in your everyday process? You included God in your everyday process?
Yeah, usually when I'm not getting anything done at home, when I've got a lot of things I should be doing or could be doing and I'm not getting anything done, I just start to speak out loud, usually, and I start to say, what the hell am I doing? What's going on here? What do I need to do today? And then I get my list going, or I start thinking, and it's talking to God, really. It's asking focus. I need to focus. I need to get on the ball here. I need to have my list. I need to get going with my, get everything focused for the day so I can be productive.
Right.
And if it's going to be a goof-off day, that's fine too. Plan that. Plan a total goof-off day where you just do nothing from the moment you wake up you do only fun things. But the business days, you have to be really, I have to get strict with myself. I have to get really on myself and mad sometimes. And yell and scream at myself a little bit for a minute or two,
Mm-hmm.
Wake up.
Okay. I'm reminded of the words that say, "In all thy ways acknowledge Spirit, and Spirit shall direct thy path." If you just include Spirit in your process, you will be divinely guided. It may not happen when you want it, but trust and believe it will happen in divine timing and divine order. And there's always a lesson to be learned in the process. We might not understand it at the time that we're going through it, but there is a lesson to be learned. So hang in there. Whatever you're going through, take a moment, whether it's on your knees, sitting in a chair, sitting in nature, sitting with your hands out in a receiving mode, to say, Spirit, please guide and direct me today. Amen.
Amen. Very nice. Yeah, the whole subject, team sport, the idea came from watching the Tony Awards last night.
Okay.
Yeah, I was watching. He doesn't like to watch the Tony Awards. But
I watched about 15 minutes.
It influenced him a little bit. But the plays, all the Broadway plays in America, oh my gosh, they're still going strong, and there's so many people who are still huge fans of all the Broadway hits.
Yes.
They were talking about this one choir. It's about a black boys choir or something, and a gay guy in there or something. It was really good. It looked like a great.
I didn't watch it, so I can't comment.
They're talking about, I just watched snippets, but the Beetlejuice is being made into a play. And it's going to be so amazing. I mean, it really has actually enough, like visuals and content and conflict and interesting stuff. And we all know the funny story about Beetlejuice. But wow, put to music and with all these costumes that are fabulous, it's like really good.
Okay,
it's really
now,
good. I could tell because they had an excerpt that they had a guy perform who was from the main Beetlejuice guy. He was in the audience and he was all dirty and then he starts singing and he jumps up on stage. It was really good.
Okay, so for those of us who don't know what Beetlejuice is, and I must admit too,
you know what that movie is? Oh my gosh.
Beetlejuice. Tell me about it.
Beetlejuice. You can't say it 3 times or he'll come alive out of this little thing. He was oh my gosh. Well, we gotta say it's one of the best movies of my years, and so this is one that he has to watch. Definitely. It's about a house these people buy, and there are these spirits that are in the house, and this little girl is, she gets in touch with them. They're nice. They're good people. They were the owners of the house, and they had a country house with a little prints on the wall and everything. But her parents are very into decor of modern, like ultra modern. They're from New York or something, and they totally make it a red wall, and they changed the home into a really modern home. And these poor spirits, this lady and man upstairs who the little girl actually can see and she's friends with, they were little old-fashioned people from this, like a little farm town, and they were so mad that they're redecorating their house into something modern. And so it starts there, but it's a good story. You gotta watch. And there's this crazy little Beetlejuice guy who, if you say his name 3 times, then he comes alive and he has power. Oh, it's just strange and good. It's pretty much the funniest ending, one of the funniest endings I've ever seen, too. So.
All right, ladies ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Go see Beetlejuice.
And the play is going to be great, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Well, we also have going on right now is the Iowa caucus. For those of you who are into politics and those of you who are not, to me it's a very exciting time right now. There's 19 candidates.
It's the beginning.
And it is the beginning. And the top 5, as we know, Joe Biden, who chose not to participate, And on one side, you have to honor his commitment to his granddaughter's graduation. But on the other side, he's running for president. And by him not showing up, he continues to lose points in the polls.
That's not good, yeah.
Okay?
That seems like a big one.
You know, he's got the experience being vice president to Barack Obama for 2 terms. So, you know, he's kind of the steady hand, the leading guy. And Elizabeth Warren is coming up in the polls.
Uh-huh.
You know, she's the only one so far that seems to have a plan. Everybody else, you know, not talking out of school, but they just kind of seem to be talking, you know, the usual talk.
And you know what? When they do that, I feel like they're waiting to see what the country wants, and then they're just going to try to say exactly what the country wants.
You think so?
Yeah, like Trump did. He just said what the country wanted, and he won because he got into a loop where he
Really? Politicians
tapped
do that?
into.
No.
Oh God! You know, it's like there's such a thing as standing for something, and there's such a thing as just following the crowd and trying to be the most popular.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Right. Well, what's my guy's name up
Just saying.
in the great Northeast that ran last time and he's running again with all of the socialist ideas?
The gay guy? No.
No. No. You know, speaking of the gay guy.
He's more into politics than I am, and I love that I'm learning and can follow because he talks about it. He does like to watch it.
Yeah, that's my passion.
I absolutely
that's
love
one
it.
of my passions.
I don't like to be in the dark.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do want to know.
So you're talking about Buttigieg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That would be interesting to have a
whether you like it or not, I think Barack Obama opened the door for the country to look at maybe a different type candidate. For what, 254 years or whatever it's been, a white male, white.
right,
You know?
break the mold.
Right.
He
break
did,
the mold.
and that was a good thing.
And he did.
That was
And
super
now I think we should always have a minority candidate involved in the process.
I agree.
Okay, black or white, you
Yeah.
know, female. Kamala Harris has some great ideas. Buttigieg has
Somebody
some
who
great
speaks
ideas.
for the people.
And if
Somebody
I'm not
who's-
mistaken, this is the first gay guy that I know of that's run for president. This is good for our country to be able to expose people to other ideas, people who are not like ourselves.
Right.
We need to get more comfortable with that. Everybody is not going to be the same.
Right.
Okay? So it's been great. I've enjoyed it. I think it's going to be a good season for us. But I am a little disappointed with Nancy Pelosi.
Why?
Nancy Pelosi was elected in 1987. Okay, she's been in politics for 34 years. 34 years. And she's been Speaker of the House twice. And now she's saying, oh, you know, it's not worth it to impeach the president. What are you talking about? If you read the report or even skim through the report or focus on one issue of the report, the Russians meddled in our election. That is enough for you to start proceedings. What are you waiting on? And I don't mean this in a bad term, but there's an old statement out there that says, you know, that dog can't hunt. There's no hunt left in that dog. And I'm not calling her a dog. But she's been around too long. Her and all her boys, Schumer, all of them need to go. We elected a freshman class of fresh leadership with fresh ideas. Let her go, okay? She gets $225,000 a year, whether she does the report and push forward or not.
Yeah.
If she tries for impeachment, she still goes home with a $225,000 in her purse. How many of us have $200,000 in our purse and we can decide whether we want to work or not?
Right.
We don't have that option. Let's send her a strong message. You know what I mean?
Let it be said.
Let it be said. You know how when you get ready to leave your job or you have a birthday, everybody in the break room signs that little card
Right.
that says best wishes and all that.
So
Let's
you wanna
send
do-
Nancy-
you wanna do happy
yeah,
trails.
Yeah, absolutely.
Happy
Let's
trails
send
to
Nancy
you.
Pelosi a nice card with best wishes,
Happy trails.
bon voyage or whatever. It's time for her and Schumer and all of her boys to go. You know, Schumer was funny. They were talking about all these tech companies have gotten so big, Microsoft and Google. And he says, wait a minute, don't mess with Microsoft. My daughter works for Microsoft,
Oh, boy.
which I'm sure he got her the job because, you know, where he is in his position. Can you get my son a job at Microsoft?
Yeah, right.
Can you get my son a job at Google? That's the subject, you know, I really get passionate
Nepotism.
behind this. It is. We need to take the money out of politics.
We really do.
Yeah, I mean, 40, 50 bucks is all, you should be able to get, or the government should say, I'm going to give you 3 or 4 commercials each.
That's it, and you get this much money, here's a lump.
That's it.
Don't
That's
go
it.
fundraising, don't do that anymore.
We got gun violence out of control. What was that last gun violence that we just had? And still nothing happens.
Yeah.
Still nothing
It
happens.
happened in Las Vegas last year, and it's really sad, and I hope it doesn't ever happen here again. It's very sad at the Mandalay Bay.
Yeah.
Never forget that day. It just hurt so bad, and I gave blood the next week. And
85 people.
They just called me on the phone to ask me for blood again because it's been a year, since the shooting, and they have out my name now, So, but I know it's been a year because that's why they called me back. Said, hi, you want to come in again, But it was just horrific.
Yeah, it was horrific.
Oh, and you know what, by the way, I saw a really beautiful, a very nice, what's it called? Eulogy, or, the tribute to the people who were passed in that shooting. It's over by the Fremont Street area. It's by that bus station, kind of near there. It's behind the Love Store, but it's really beautiful. They have this park kind of setting, and they have all these great things and people's pictures and all these wind chimes and different beautiful, like a waterfall and verdant, and it's kept up, and flowers everywhere, and all the people's pictures and names are hanging from these trees in this little tiny park they made. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It made me well up.
Yeah.
And I had to look. I had to go look and read some of the things. It was really drew me in.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful.
It was a sad situation.
They did that for, and there's a parking lot next to it too, so people could actually. There's a lot of people who could park at one time, to come and see it. So it's really neat.
One of the changes, or the things that the city of Las Vegas learned from that situation, is that the shooter had a "Do Not Disturb" sign on his door for 5 days. That won't happen again in Las Vegas.
Yeah, that was a bit odd.
Yeah.
That was
So 2 days is the max. If it's on
then
past
they
2,
can't come in there.
we're coming
yeah.
in. We're coming
the
in.
maids have to be able to see how many guns someone has in their room
Yes.
that day.
Yes.
Right? Let's make
Yes.
sure it's not past the minimum.
Yes.
The max.
And
Which
understand.
is 0. Okay, you're not supposed to have a gun in your room ever.
Well, he was a high roller, so when he came in, he convinced one of the bail guys to take him up on the service elevator instead of the regular elevator. So he's packed and he's loaded.
And he had all those bags.
He had all those bags, so hey, come on, take me up the service elevator, because he didn't want to get on the regular elevator with other people in fear that somebody might see what he had.
Yeah, you
So they have a
recognize the
program now.
shape of the
You
kind of
see
bag.
something, you say something.
Yeah.
Isn't that a sad
This
situation
is
that this is what we've come to in this particular point in time, that we have to be so fearful and
Yeah.
watch what's going on
In
around
a
us.
country
Yeah,
concert. That's
but-
so American,
Okay, it isn't. But I'm going to take
Very
one
sad.
word out: fearful. Let's not be fearful.
I don't want to be
Okay.
fearful.
No, we still have to go out and enjoy ourselves and have a good time and enjoy our life.
Right.
And know that wherever we are, God is. God is present. God is with us.
Right.
And all you got to do is reach out and ask. That's the team sport.
Life is a team sport. As far as taking care of each other too, for
Yes.
the city.
So,
And politics. We are a team. We all have to work as a team to get good politicians in there
Okay.
every single term.
I'm going to put you on the spot. You can say yes or no. If you had to vote today, who would you vote for?
Ooh. We'll be right back with that.
Okay, we'll be back.
See you in a little bit. Bye.
Shut up and sit down.
don't forget to watch Peasy and his frenemies.
Unhinged Insanity
Every week,
on Facebook,
Instagram,
YouTube,
Periscope,
And sit down.
and Twitter.
socialmediashows.com.
Peasy and Frenemies.
So see you there.
E.T.
phone home. Kiss,
Kiss, kiss. Oh, I love you. Love you, dear.
Oh, kiss, kiss. Okay, I'm going over there now.
Shut up and sit down.
Live streaming on social media is the best new way to interact and bond with your community. Do you love to encourage, motivate, and empower others, but you do not know how? Well, your opportunity starts with us on social media shows. We have 20 shows a week live streamed across the globe, with a reach of over 80,000 and growing. So you can host your own show, and you can be anything you want to be. So let's bring the community together, and let's bring the world to you. Join us now. Social Media Shows is teaming up with RevolutionRadio2.com to present Social Media Shows Sunday, featuring the very best of social media shows starting at 6
Go ahead and dance if you want to dance.
Yeah.
Go ahead and dance if you
I
want to
like
dance.
watching you dance.
That's okay.
It's more fun.
We're not dancing. We're
Is this
not
our music?
dancing.
Is this our music? Okay.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Welcome back. Welcome back.
We're back.
Welcome
Gregarious
back.
Joy.
Welcome back.
Here we-
Welcome back.
That sounds like Carter.
Carter. Yes.
Welcome back.
Okay.
I don't know the last line of that.
Yeah.
It was a good show.
Yeah.
Kind of.
You used to sing backup, didn't you? Every time you got
Back
to the mic,
up.
they said back up.
They said back up. Oh,
Come on,
shush.
come on. Well, you were going to tell me about the 5 or 6 attributes.
No, I'm going to talk about relationships again.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I
What
want to
were
talk
the
about
5 or
relationships.
6 points about a good relationship?
Okay, well, the 6 qualities you want in a mate.
It's the 6 qualities you want in a mate.
This is according to a nice book that I had for several years, since my 20s and 30s. I own this book by Barbara Dr. DeAngelis, who's a great psychologist. I
Yes.
know she has a good book on
Uh-huh.
Are You the One for Me is the book.
Yes.
And anyway, she has the 6 qualities you want in a mate.
Yes.
These are really great to talk about.
Tell me about them.
Okay, first one, number 1,
Yes.
commitment to growth.
Okay?
Okay? Second one, emotional openness.
Okay, commitment to growth. How would that be a good quality? And can you give me an example of commitment to growth in a relationship?
Someone who's open-minded to grow, wants to
Okay.
improve, wants to, improve and evolve from the past where you've been, and, get stronger, better at being in a relationship.
Okay, well, I'm going to play devil's advocate with you.
Okay.
Okay, I work 5 days a week. I'm tired. I'm paying the bills. I'm trying to balance the budget. I'm trying to get my life in order, and I got all of this going on.
Commitment to growth.
And then I come home and you tell me I need to be committed to growth. I don't want to grow anymore. I come home to relax, to eat, to chill. So how does that fit in?
Well, there's such a thing as timing and approach. You know, you got to have the right timing. I've been told that this morning.
So give me an example of how I can grow. Some growth programs or something.
Well, like the Q process. That is fantastic.
Oh, so you want me to take classes?
Well, if I say, let's do the Q process, a couple pages, and you say, yeah, and then you don't during the week, well, that wasn't a commitment to growth.
Okay,
Am
so
I
the
wrong?
Q process, for those who don't know, is a series of questions about yourself, and your mate has an opportunity
It's
to
help you find the triggers that you have within you
Okay.
to things.
Okay.
And I had a course called the Q process. I talked about it in, I think, number 3 or 4 of our show, about how it can help as a tool, and how to chart, and you have an incident, and then what you made up about, the belief you have about that incident, and then you think about what the gift is out of that, possible positive that you could get out of that if you were looking at it another way, and then what you could, how you could reinvent it as a positive, or something a different slant on it, like different, the belief would be different. And then the last one would be, maybe some actions you can take that you might need to take in regards to that thing.
Okay. Do you find that that women are more inclined to take on processes like that, or
Yes.
men do it as well?
No,
or is there a balance?
I saw the man in the group. There was a man. There were only 3 of us in this little tiny course. There were 2 women and a man.
Okay.
And then one woman dropped out, so just he and I.
Okay.
I think.
All right. Well, tell me about the second one.
At any rate, the second one was emotional openness.
Emotional openness.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about
So
that.
emotionally shut down people. What would you say they're like?
Don't bother me. I had a long day today. Don't talk to me. Just put the dinner on the table or wherever I can reach it, and then leave me alone.
And get the sports on.
Yeah, get the sports on. Leave me alone.
And leave me alone.
Okay.
And the man cave behavior.
Right.
Well, I don't know about emotional deadness on that. I think that's fine stuff. People should have their decompression time. People should be able to do what they want to do after work to decompress before they relate to everybody. I mean, that's natural. Normal people know that you just, you want to leave people alone for a while. But emotional openness, I think, is...
What does that mean to you?
I think talking about a subject, and trying to talk about it even if you don't want to talk about it. Like if someone brings up something that's not to your liking, just try, because you're committed. The overall goal is that you're committed to a great committed relationship, so you'd push through and you would be open emotionally to whatever they're saying, even if it's something that you cannot even believe and you can't understand, and it's all girl talk and it's hair or nails or whatever it is, something you just don't even want to hear about, talk about. Emotionally open. Just give somebody some time and let them say what they want to say.
Okay.
You think you say everything that I want to hear? Oh
No.
my goodness.
No. Okay, we heard that, guys. Okay, we heard that, ladies, too.
I don't want to hear another fish story. I don't want to hear another basketball triumph.
Okay, and I don't want to hear about any more makeup or anything like that, because you probably have a ton of
How
that
about
stuff.
the
anyway.
fashion I show you?
Okay, so
Oh my goodness, what did you say the other day?
what?
I was showing him some great Mary Cottranzu, her new collection, all her latest collection for fall. Oh my gosh, I was going over it, fabulous, and showing him all these designs. And he just went cross-eyed and said, I have no concept of all this stuff, or something.
Yeah, I know.
But you sit there and you did look.
I
So
did
that-
look, and
that
I
was-
did listen.
That was nice.
Yeah, you gave me
I
credit
was
for
trying
that.
to show you, it's a stamp theme. It's all like postal stamp was the theme
Postal
of the
stamps on all the
on
dresses.
the dresses, and amazing couture fashion, very interesting theme.
Well,
And
sometimes
butterflies were on another theme. Ooh, all these little
sometimes you have to be a
butterflies.
trendsetter and just don't follow every trend that comes along. I mean, I wish I could wear a skinny suit. I mean, I really do. I'm too big for a skinny suit.
You're gonna get
So-
there. You
so-
just gotta keep on to the gym.
Yeah, but
He's gonna have. I'm gonna
that's
taper.
just not my thing.
I know, I'm gonna
okay?
taper his shirts
so
because
you wear what makes you feel comfortable. Okay?
I'm a tailor. I will tailor a shirt.
You
for
don't have to let
when-
society dictate what looks good on you.
Yeah.
Wear what you want to wear, whatever you want to wear it. Okay?
Yeah, as long as it's somewhat appropriate
Oh,
for
yeah,
the occasion.
well, you know.
You know what it is to be fashionable? If you look that up in the dictionary, the word fashionable,
Yes.
the definition would read, to be appropriately dressed for whatever occasion it is. So that is what it is to be fashionable. That's why we want a wardrobe with enough stuff in it, you know? You've got to have the 10, you know, I'm going to do that in one of our shows, the 10 things you need to have in your wardrobe. Everybody knows. Anyone who studies fashion or wants to be well-dressed is going to have,
These top 10 things.
yeah, these top 10 things.
Okay, stay tuned for that show, ladies. The top 10 things you got to have in your closet.
Right.
All right, the next one.
Okay, the next one. So commitment to growth, emotional openness. Number 3, integrity.
Okay? Integrity is important in a relationship.
And there's such a thing as high level of integrity. You know, up in the 90 percentile, it's like nobody's perfect. Nobody's going to keep their word all the time about everything. You know, that's difficult. Because some things you have to keep perfect. You know, like being here for the show, or you know, paying a bill, or there's some halves you have to in life. But integrity, as far as
I think that's
not
important.
when you're at Chipotle and you know you get the courtesy cup for the water, okay, and then you go over there and you fill it up with soda instead. What do you think of that integrity?
You don't do that, do you? You don't do that?
No, I do not do that.
Okay.
Do you know anybody who does that?
No. No, I do see people do that. I do see people do
I'm
that.
going to tell you.
I
Somebody I
you
know does that.
Somebody I've seen do that.
And the integrity would let him admit it.
Okay. All right.
If you have high integrity.
Okay. So what else do you have with
It's integrity.
It's
People judge you by your integrity too.
Okay.
They do.
That is true.
Like if I was
Only
a litter,
thing that you
I
have
judge
is your
people
word.
by litter bugs.
Your word
No,
is
people
all
litter
you
and
have.
stuff. You know.
Your word is your bond.
Yeah.
Would you say that's integrity? Your
Yeah,
word.
to keep your word. Yes,
Okay.
that is
To
integrity.
keep your word. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Number 5.
All right. Last, fourth, number 4, maturity and responsibility.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say you know, those are important qualities.
Maturity and responsibility.
Maturity, able to handle what you have in your life. You know, I have children. You have children. You know, being a parent, maturity to say the right thing to them and not be too loose with your morals. You know, to just try to keep a standard so that they will know there's a standard in the family. There's
Okay.
a family standard that
Okay.
we would prefer that you try to, you
All
know,
right, well-
you can't force anyone to do anything, but
Well,
you can try
you know,
to
the
lead
way
by,
that-
you can lead by example.
Okay, the way I see it, responsibility is that, you know, we handle the bills, guys. Most of us. Some of us do turn it over to our very capable wives, if you have one like that, or a capable girlfriend. So we got to make sure that the light bill is paid, so the lights are on, the air conditioner is on. We got to pay the cable bill if we don't have Hulu or whatever to watch TV. So these are responsibilities that are pretty much, you know, a given in a relationship. Would you say?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, if somebody let the lights go off, you'd be so pissed.
Yeah, you would.
But I've known a lot of successful people who actually forgot to pay a bill, like a major, like the water. And
Okay.
it's like, oh my gosh, you know, it
So why don't
happens.
why don't you
It's
put it on
happened.
automatic pay?
Well, I do. I have everything on. I do it online, and I have automatic, and I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good on that. But
Okay.
you know, I just think it's funny. It does happen. You know, people have mistakes.
Okay, number 5.
Yeah. 5, high self-esteem. I think that's true. You do have to have to have. You want that quality in a mate. You want someone who's got good self-esteem. You know, they care about themselves. They like themselves. If they don't like themselves, there's ways you can work on that,
Okay.
right? Like, how would you work on that if you didn't?
Well, you know, self-esteem
Like if
to
someone
me
had
is
a-
something
if
that
someone wanted to
you were born
conquer a
with
bad
and
habit-
raised with.
If you wanted to conquer a bad habit,
Right.
that would be like to have more self-respect for yourself.
Okay. Okay. High self-esteem. I can see that one. And number 6.
Positive attitude towards life.
Okay.
So, kind of the same thing in a way, right? But I think a positive attitude towards life, I think that has to do with spirituality and your point of view, you know, your way you generate your, you know, your spiritual self, how you generate that and how you produce, you cultivate that and share with the world, and
Well, a lot of us are fortunate to have a positive attitude
Yeah.
towards life.
Do you think
But-
you've always had a positive attitude as a kid? And
Yes, yes.
Me too.
Yes.
I always did, and that's like, and it's great because my little Max, when he was in a 3-year-old in preschool, really great campus daycare down at CCN or CN, whatever it's called, the really great preschool there. He came home one day and he said, the teacher said something like, she told me personally, she says, you know what? Today we shared in class that Max is a role model for positiveness. And I said, I'm thinking he got that from me. And I agree.
Okay.
That was really sweet. That was
So-
great to hear from the teacher.
Okay,
At
so
3
how-
years old, he was a
Okay, so how
a
old was
role-
Max at that time?
3, and he was
Okay.
a role model
So-
for positive for the whole class. And I thought that was awesome.
So at 30 years old, does Max still have the positive attitude?
Yeah.
At 20 years old,
Actually, I do think he does.
when life starts slapping
Yeah.
you around a little bit,
Oh, yeah.
it is. It's tough at times to always have a positive attitude. Maybe you're down on your luck.
When he gets tired, I think he gets a little grouchy.
Maybe you lost your job.
But I don't think he's
your
mean.
outlook for life may not be as positive as you would like for
Oh,
it to
yeah.
be.
Especially when you've had
So
a few things that
that's when
happened.
the team effort comes in,
Yeah.
where you're one with spirit. Talk to spirit. You'll be surprised. Go alone somewhere in your house, out in nature. Just sit and talk to spirit. Just have an open conversation. I'm not
It does
feeling very
help.
positive
It
about
really,
where I am
it
right
really
now.
does help. It does.
Okay.
It's amazing.
And what am I doing to make life more positive for myself?
Right.
You just can't sit around and talk about it. You have to put feet with your prayers. Okay, faith without works is dead. I just can't simply have faith. I have to get out there and make stuff happen.
I agree. I
Okay.
agree. That's the truth. You have to have a what by when. You have to start getting goals, making sure you start taking care of business. It's like taking care of the business of how it's going to happen, right?
Right. So with taking care
Like
of
you got a
business.
job. I got a job.
So
We're-
taking care of
we-
business to make sure it happens, to me it sounds like fundamental goal setting. So I should have goals. I should write them down so that I know where I'm going. When I get into those patterns, when I'm starting to think down, I go to my goals and read my goals and remind myself that I'm not in this by myself. That Spirit is with me. God is with me. And you know what? God is with you too.
Yeah.
Okay, when's the last time you ever had a conversation with God? We call our God by many names.
I journal.
You journal?
That's part of my prayer.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I do it on the phone. I do it by the voice journaling. I just press the recorder and I start sharing. And actually, I love it because I can listen to it back later that day or right afterwards. Sometimes I have to hear it.
It's a great idea.
I hear it back because part of also having ADHD is not being a strong reader since a child. Not having that habit of really liking to read and all that. I can read it. It's a pain. It's in my mind. It's still considered a pain. Anyway, hearing it. I've heard people with bad ADHD even getting through master's, doctorate degrees by reading their own homework into a recording and then listening to it back because we learn better. About a problem or work on it or, whatever, go through. Logical, you can see how you've evolved, what funk you were in, and how great you were doing for a while, and
I've
how
never done that
how
before.
it sounds when you're happy.
Okay.
When you're really in a good mood, and
So
things are
here's
going well.
something-
You got to
here's something
remember.
good.
You have to remember how you sound when you're happy.
If you're not capable of writing it down, speak it into your
It's
phone
easier.
and then go back and listen to it.
It's easier too.
You
Yeah,
know.
and plus you could send it to somebody.
So that's
if
the
you
top
had a,
6.
If you even had a letter you never wrote someone you wanted to always write a little thank you note, anything, you can tape record that message and send it to them.
Okay. Now she got real upset with me when I mentioned this, but I was reading this. It was either in Essence or Cosmo, one of the two
Oh,
magazines.
don't start.
That said that a woman over 50 has a 1% chance of ever getting a
10.
man.
10's even plenty.
Okay, so she just
said 10.
literally went off on me. Okay,
Well,
so
I don't
what's your
like
thoughts?
I don't like Cosmo magazine for writing some trash like that. Someone my age has 10% chance of meeting somebody quality.
I'm just sharing.
Who
what
would
I
even
heard.
repeat that kind of horse crap? You know, who would even repeat that?
Okay.
Silly.
Well,
That's
you either
silly and
agree-
ridiculous.
You either agree or you disagree, and
I strongly disagree.
okay, well, things like that I don't hold in consciousness. That's just someone's opinion. Okay. What are my chances of ever finding the love of my life at my age? I don't let anyone dictate that for me.
You're a guy.
Huh?
You know, it's different for men.
Oh, it is different.
It is. It's
okay.
They say a man could have a baby all the way up to 100 years old. For God's sakes, well, maybe not that old, but you know, women. Ooh,
baby-
you're all dried
A
up.
man can have
You
a
don't.
baby
You
all the way
don't.
up until
You don't
100.
have any vitality. Your face is
Please,
sagging.
a
Your
man's
body,
eggs
boobs
are-
are
his sperm is
sagging.
turned into egg beaters. I don't know what you're talking about.
A guy can turn into egg beaters down there.
Yeah. At some point, you just can't. You know,
Really?
you can't produce anymore.
I'd like to see that.
Not on the show. This is definitely an adult program.
This is PG Disney.
PG Disney.
We're keeping it
Okay.
Disney.
All right. Well, thank you
No,
for sharing.
I think that there's definitely a difference, and I don't think you should ever repeat that again.
Okay, I
And
won't
Cosmo,
repeat it
I
again.
reject that from Cosmo, and I rip it up and throw it out every time I see an article like that. It's silly and ridiculous.
Well, you repeated your 6. I was still expecting to hear that one that you threw out on our last show about the first thing you do when you see a man is you look down at his shoes.
I didn't say that.
You did say it.
You said your ex-wife
said
said.
it.
No, your ex-wife said that all the time. I never really said that.
You can tell a lot about a man
No.
by his shoes.
No.
Really?
I actually do think she's right on that.
See?
Your ex-wife was smart on certain things.
Oh, okay. All
I
right.
mean, you
well,
know.
there it is.
I think that someone who has great
Oops, there it is.
great hygiene also is really an attractive feature in a person.
Okay.
You know.
Well, you just heard the 6. If you've got something that you would like to chime in with the 6, maybe a 7th or 8th, or even take one of these out, please reach out to us. Okay? But in the interim, we're going to take a little break.
We'll take a
and
break.
we'll be right back.
We'll talk more about relationships when we get back.
Thank you.
Bye.
We've reached the age of live streaming on social media shows. You may ask, we're already ahead of the curve, so why do you need to advertise with us? Well, only 8% of the businesses in the US are using digital advertising to grow their business. That's 2 percentage points short of reaching critical mass, which will lead to faster results. We have 20 plus shows with a reach of over 80,000. We'll give you commercial ads, website link, and connections to nonprofit organizations. So get your brand ready for digital monetization, for we are looking for sponsors, which will bring more traffic to your business and ultimately mean more sales. So let's bring the world to you. Inquire now.
John is an employee at one of the most famous firms in the city of New York, so his job is very hectic, and he realized that it is necessary for him to go and finally take a vacation. But he went on a vacation without planning out the details, and wasn't able to truly enjoy where he went because he had to think about so many things that he didn't plan for. Instead of enjoying his time away from work, he came back with more stress that he was not able to take full advantage of his vacation. But this year, a coworker suggested him to try World Ventures this time to make his vacationing more enjoyable and less stressful. They do not require you to plan anything outside of your transportation, which is also available at discounted rates. Your stay, your transport, and many meals are planned by the club. John liked the idea very much. He tries World Ventures, and his experience with the club was amazing, as he made many friends there with whom he had a great time. John recommends that everyone should try this club, as they are the best in business. See how the VIP-vacation-club.com can give you the right experience.
thank you for joining us
Hey,
again today on
Gregarious.
Life is a Team Sport.
Right.
Okay, don't forget.
Bettina and Greg from Gregarious Joy.
Righto. So
Okay.
our last topic is
Is
don't bond over each other's baggage.
Right.
What does that mean?
yeah, that was something I got as advice in dating, and I think that that's a great one to think about. But the thing is you do want to, I think you do want to hear a certain amount of someone's background because they owe it to you. You owe it to them
Okay.
because
But how
it
much
gives,
can you?
but almost but
how
keep
much
it
can
to
you
a
share?
but you should make it the capsule version probably, or not go into too much detail if you can help it. And that's where you go to your therapist, your counselor, or your Q process, and you work it out, like the little details.
Okay,
But-
so for those who are afraid to go to a therapist, who may not have ever been to a
But
therapist,
they don't think they can afford it because it's pretty
Okay.
expensive
Well-
if your insurance doesn't cover it, which actually most people's insurance does cover it, at least something like 5 or 6 a year, and they don't even take advantage of that. You should go even if things are good. You should. You owe it to yourself. It's for your own mental health,
Okay.
and happiness. You can use your counselor for all kinds of things, not just, my relationship's screwed up, or something. You can use
Okay.
them for lots of things. They're smart people. Usually,
Okay.
I mean, if you get a good one. Anyway, okay.
So how much
don't
do-
bond over each other's baggage. Now, I
So-
think there's
so-
a point where you should have a high five with people, like make a sign, like okay, if you're going on, like you're on and on about a story, like obviously you're in the story and you're getting emotional because you're telling the story. There should be a high, like stop each other, an agreement that you'd stop each other so that you wouldn't go on and on about a thing.
Okay.
Like where you get like on a roll. How people go into automatic mode, like
Yes.
automatic pilot, and
Yes.
it's a shtick almost. They can't even stop because they want to tell you the whole story. It's like their story, But the capsule version, or keeping it, having them stop if they get like that is really good.
Well, that's a difficult topic. I mean, when you're getting into a new relationship, just how much do you want to share of your past and your past relationships?
Yeah, it's better to try to focus on fun things at first.
Yeah.
I think because everybody's got baggage.
Yeah.
Some of our people's are a lot worse than others, but you
Okay.
know. Yeah, and then I was going to say versus don't bond with each other's baggage versus bonding over common goals like God, peace, trusting, spirit, things like that would be your common goals.
Okay, so
You
I didn't feel as comfortable in my early days dating to include spirit into my dating process, but I don't have a problem doing that now. So
Like
is
you
it
were
okay?
you were a player.
So
you were out there meeting
It has
women.
nothing to do with the player. Are you comfortable sitting down with your partner and praying together?
Oh, I think that would be important. Yeah, I think that would be really important.
Do you do that? Have you done that with your
Yeah,
partner?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel about that? Have you ever sat and prayed with your boyfriend over any type of issues?
And it's even nice just over dinner because
Yeah.
it's a chance to air.
Well,
Honestly,
sometimes
praying
the
at a
only,
meal
only,
is
only
so
time,
good.
Well, sometimes only time people pray is over a meal.
Yeah, a lot of times. I mean, they don't take the time to meditate in the morning or night. Like, our church recommends everybody meditate once or twice a day or even more. But yeah, I think the dinner time is a wonderful time, especially when you have a family, to always get together and be able to kind of like just clear the day. Get the high, get the low. Let's hear it.
Well, in my family growing up, dinner time was a special time. The whole family sat around the table and, we talked about issues of the day. But
Did
what
you
I
talk
hear,
about politics and stuff?
we didn't talk that much about politics, but we talked about things that were going on in our everyday life.
School.
My dad would talk about his job, or my mother would talk about what happened at work with her today, and maybe we talk about what happened at school.
That's nice. And you had 7 kids.
Yeah, but
You were all there at the same time, or was it just once in a while they were all there at the same time?
no, we had shifts, so
Oh my
that the first
gosh.
4 could eat first, and then what was left over, the last 3 got a chance to eat.
Did you get the
Please
leftovers?
No, please don't believe that. Okay, There's 7 of us, and we always had a great meal.
He makes up stuff.
So,
Like shifts. They had a big
I
long
had second
table.
shift.
I'm sure you had a big long table in
yeah,
your
it
house.
was, yeah.
Like
it
the
was
Waltons.
Nice. No,
Shoot.
yeah, well, It was good. It was a fun time of the day, and to me,
I would have loved to have
the
visited
very
your family.
special time was Sunday. I mean, my mother knocked it out of the park on
She did a
Sunday.
nice deal at dinner.
I mean,
so.
you know, a Sunday she would start preparing Saturday evening, you know, Sunday morning, so that when we get home from church, it was already
Potato
done.
salad and the
All that stuff was
the
done.
steak, everything
You
was
know,
ready,
you
going.
sit down at the table and you just grub out. And it was always a dessert, a strawberry cake, a peach cobbler, something to that effect. So hats out to my mom, even though she's not with me today. She did spend quality time with us at the dinner table. Now, from what I'm hearing today,
She showed her love through her food too.
yeah, she did.
Which
She
is
did show her
beautiful.
love
A
through
lot
her
of people
food.
like to show their love through food, and a lot of people love to take their love through food. It's great.
Yeah, so
You know?
so what I'm hearing now is that maybe we don't have time to cook a meal anymore. We probably don't sit down for dinner until Thanksgiving or Christmas. You know, I'm going to take my plate and go upstairs and go in my room and close the door, or I'm going to grab an energy bar because that's, you know, all
Yeah.
I basically need.
Right.
And I'm
Trying
watching.
to lose weight.
Yeah,
something.
or I ate at work, or I ate on the way home.
Even
So
if you
that
do that,
special
though-
bonding time with family at the dinner table is very important.
And that
It's
can
very
go. That can
important.
go away if everybody's eating an energy bar. But you should like make the point of sitting and just maybe having a you know, cold water together, something. Be together.
You know, with me, just having a cold water together ain't gonna work. You gotta have some food, man. Some meat. You know what I'm saying?
And-
A cold water. Really?
Yeah, you like lettuce wraps, huh?
Oh, I love. Yeah, I do.
Asian lettuce wraps.
Oh, I
with
do.
the cabbage around the side.
Yeah, you know.
Crunchy.
I'm gonna lose a few pounds. They say TB add 10 pounds. So anyway, I gotta lose some weight. I don't look like I've ever
So then
lost
we
a
gotta
meal,
lose.
missed a meal, do
we
I?
gotta lose 20.
What's that old
Because
saying? You
if
can
it's
call me
10
whatever you want, just don't call me late for
to
dinner. There it is.
Exactly. Oh God.
Oops, there it is.
So
Okay.
here's another one that I of isms or things that came about when I was starting to look into dating again. Yoda on, you know, Star Wars says hate leads to suffering. So in other words, you know, your stories from your ex, your it's like hate leads to suffering. That's a great thing to note. And the sooner you can complete your relationship from the past, in all the good, the bad, the ugly, that's called completing. When you share the good, the bad, the ugly, everything, then you're going to be having less suffering, actually.
Okay.
Potentially less suffering. Hate leads to suffering. So anyway, and also
Well,
I'd say
hate leads to suffering. What I've always heard is that spirit cannot come into yes.
and I know, you know,
So,
that,
you know, I
that the
look at the
value is
good.
going to come back to you when
Yeah.
your children.
Yeah,
They're
the
they're
children.
gonna, they love
To-
you dearly. I mean,
to have two sons to come out of that relationship was totally awesome. And you know, I've mentioned it before that when one door closes, another door opens. Okay, but it is very difficult sometimes to turn my attention away from that door that closed to know that there is a door opening
Right.
because I'm so frustrated
And
and
it
caught
hurt.
up in the past.
and it hurt.
Okay.
You got a spanking, you know, you got pulverized, you know, that is how it felt probably.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel like you're like a little beat up. Actually, I think people have to lick their wounds for a while. People do have to mend. It takes time. It's not going to happen overnight, but 5 years, you don't want it to go along too long.
Yeah.
You know, you really don't.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then
You
I
know,
want to
that's a
talk
good one.
about one last thing.
Wait, but before you move to that one last thing,
Mhm.
you know, we're talking about a team effort and a team sport. As a single person, every day I ask Spirit to lead and guide me. And one of my meditations is, God, I can't do it by myself. The situations that I have got me into is on my own doing. So please, God, take over. Take the wheel, okay? So when I go in the grocery store and somebody looks at me and smiles, I have to think for a second. I smile back. End up having a little small conversation. Maybe a friendship sparks, maybe it doesn't. But I'm allowing Spirit to work through me, because you just never know.
Yeah. Everybody's an opportunity
That could be a
to make a new
friend to
friend.
help you get over your bridge
Right.
over troubled waters. So
Right.
keep an open process. You know, sometimes you go in the store and you see someone, you say hello, and they look at you like,
You know, he's saying the grocery store, but actually that is a really good place to meet people because
I
people are
don't know you.
relaxed.
Why are you smiling
People
at
are
me?
relaxed. They're in a good mood. Usually they're excited about making food, or they just have to handle it, you know, whichever. But they, you know, are there. And I find people very nice to meet in the grocery store, actually. You know, you meet some nice people there. I think it's great. I used to work in Smith's in Southern Highlands for a little
Yes.
while.
Is that right?
And I was in the front of the store, and I met a lot of people in Southern Highlands, which say hi, by the way, if I see you, you see me, I remember you, and I had a great time knowing you all out there. I really loved Southern Highlands area. But the community was so beautiful, the people out there, and I don't know. It was a real nice thing when you had that esprit de corps. Like, I'm from a small town, Lodi, where I knew my grandparents' friends, my mom and dad, everybody's friends, and my own friends, and you always saw people you knew everywhere you went. So it was kind of like that out in Southern Highlands, and it's nice to
Okay.
be friendly in your
Okay.
store
Well,
that you
you know,
like to
I-
frequent,
You know, I lived in downtown Chicago for 10 years, and one of the stores, I can't remember which one it was, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, kind of kicked off this thing of, you know, date night groceries. So you walk in, you know, whether you chose to or not, you could get a glass of wine or a glass of water.
date night groceries.
You know, and you go through the aisles, and, you know, you're
Oh,
picking.
and you're testing the wine.
Right. No, you're not testing the wine.
That's Trader
but they
Joe's.
created an atmosphere
Oh, yeah.
that if you say hello to someone, that it's okay. Maybe
Yeah.
you might get a date at the Jewel grocery store.
True.
Because they have set the tone that, hey,
Yeah.
date night groceries from 10 to midnight or something
Was
to
that
that
an
effect.
actual statement? They stated it that way?
Yeah,
Oh,
date
love
night
it.
groceries.
Oh, that's kind of like a...
And that was a cool thing to do, because if you were there on date night groceries, you're probably in the mindset of, hey, I came in here to meet someone, so I'll be open to the process.
Yeah, that's cool. I
But
like
a lot
that.
of times
I
we are
heard that-
so shut down.
I heard that
how many
one of the-
people you go in the store and they are so shut down? How
Oh,
are you
yeah.
today?
And it's called suppression.
Huh?
They're suppressed. I mean, they're like in a funk. They're either in an incident, like in their mind, mad at something, thinking about something, repetition, you know, reminiscence, which is a bad habit we can all get into at times. Try not to do reminiscence. That's bad for you, man.
Yeah.
Just don't do that. But, you know, you can tell they're just in a funk. They're in their own...
So in essence, be an open
It's like a
vessel
s-
so the
like s-
spirit can work through you.
And the
You just
speed-
never know what a conversation with the next person.
Yeah.
You might be the conversation that they needed, as I mentioned, to help them get through whatever it is that they're going through.
Yeah, it's like life is a
And
team
that person
sport.
might be the person to help you get through whatever you're going through.
Right, life
so
is a
be an open book. I
team
mean, come
sport,
on, you know,
team
open
sport.
up. Don't be so angry.
And it's like speed dating. Going to a grocery store like that is like speed dating because you're just saying hi to people and, you know, chatting and whatever. Okay, here, I want to talk about one more thing. A category of 7 different compatibilities, all right? Age, religion, social, ethnic, education background, toxic in-laws, toxic ex-spouse,
Mm-hmm.
toxic ex stepchildren
Mm-hmm.
and long distance relationships.
Okay, there's
Those
one
are
in there.
compatibilities.
Okay,
that-
there's one in there that I did not hear, and I'm a little surprised.
Oh, what was it?
Interracial dating,
I said ethnic.
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 Okay.
I said social, ethnic, educational, and background. So, in other words, social background the same.
Okay.
Whether like compatibility, whether it's okay with you that it's not the same, or it is the same. It's always a little nicer when you have something in common with that ethnic background, educational background.
Okay,
We
so
don't have the same educational background.
no, and we don't have the same ethnic background as well.
No.
You had said earlier in one of our shows that you only dated Jewish men.
Oh, before, yeah.
Okay, so if the right guy came up to you, and he happened to be,
Yeah, I was so shut down to anything else, right?
let's say he happened to be Hispanic,
Okay.
or he happened to be African American,
Mhm.
you would not have a conversation with him because you knew he was not Jewish. Now, are we limiting ourselves
Actually,
when we do that?
I'm kind of a friendly person. I probably would have talked to him anyway because I'm a talkative person and I talk with everybody. But that's just I'm a weird rarity. I have that
Well,
my family used to say I had no embarrassment gene, but that's not true.
I
I
have
do have
found-
embarrassment.
I have found
It's just so friendly.
in my travels, I went to school. I grew up in the Midwest. I went to school in the South.
A lot of
I
people
lived
who
in the
wouldn't date a
Northeast
white
for a
girl.
big-
A
for
lot
a
of
bit.
people who would never date a white
And then
girl.
when I moved
right?
to the West Coast, Seattle, San Francisco, LA, I found that people were more open to dating outside their race. As a
Right.
matter of fact, when I was living in San Francisco, the motto was, date outside your race. So you go downtown
So you were like
you'd see Hispanic and a white, a black and a white,
Yeah.
an Asian,
Very
and
liberal.
Yeah, very liberal, and nobody thought twice about
Yeah.
it.
The gay, the straight, the
Right,
everybody.
but then
and-
there's certain parts of the country where that is a no-no.
Right. Right.
We got to get over that, man. I mean, God is love, and God is within each one of us. We shouldn't just always look at the wrapping paper. If God is giving you a gift, don't always complain about the color of the wrapping paper. If the wrapping paper comes in red, it comes in brown, it comes in yellow, thank God for the gift. Okay?
Yeah.
You've been praying and asking for a relationship or a friendship, and it presents itself, but you say, no, God, I don't want that. That's the wrong color.
Yeah. I can understand. Yeah, thank you. I can understand the long distance relationship. Yeah, that's going to be tough because there's something when you're with people.
People still do long distance relationships.
I mean,
it's probably easier
that's a
now because you don't have to pay a
compatibility.
big phone bill like back in the day.
Oh yeah, no, we got unlimited talking now. Exactly.
Yes.
It used to be I got 2 minutes.
Right, right.
To talk for more than 2 minutes.
And then they got this FaceTime, so you can always see them no matter where they are
you
in
can
the country.
do home sexting, whatever you call it, texting.
Home
Yeah.
sexting.
Well, you could,
texting is what she meant
you could
to
be
say.
the long distance sex relationship probably.
It's an adult show.
It's probably not quite as good, probably, but
Okay.
it's nice to be up close to people. But I found by being up close to some people, like a roommate, I'll tell you something. It's like there's about 6 different people that you see. It's like when you have a job and you have it's like after a couple of weeks I noticed this. Like, on a job, you really get to know people very well. When you're on a job, you see their good day, their bad day, their happy face, their bad day. They didn't wash that day, or they look fantastic for that day.
Sure.
Their best shirt, and it's kind of like you see a lot of different sides to people.
Yes.
And it's not that we're schizophrenic, and it's not that we have multiple personalities or something like that. I think it's just that we all have lots of different sides to us, and besides the transactional analysis, your child, your parent, and your adult, those three, you relate to people as adult to adult, parent to child,
Okay.
there's different ways of speaking. When you got those three, that's transactional analysis.
Right.
But basically, when you're around somebody really closely, you actually notice they have, wow,
Well,
there's about 6 of you and one of you doesn't like me. I noticed that one time.
I had read and heard that about 60% of relationships are established in the workplace.
Yeah. Or not just a job, but
And it is a
like
place
if you
where you
lived-
can meet
if you
people.
live with
Is in the
someone-
work. Is in the workplace, but that can be a very, very a slippery slope.
Yeah, because they
It can
say
be a
you're not supposed to
double-edged
date.
sword.
Yeah, they say you're not supposed to date.
Because
or you
it
gotta
could turn
tell.
into some sexual harassment.
And you got to tell your manager if you're dating, right?
Right.
And then they can transfer you. That's what they'll do.
Well, not all companies are doing that. I think a lot of companies are being more open these days. Not all,
Yeah.
but some of the larger ones. I have a friend that worked for Macy's, and he said if you're dating someone in your department, you go to your boss.
You have to tell.
And
Yeah.
you tell them,
Yeah.
and they call the both of you in,
Yeah.
just to have a discussion, and make you sign some documents that says, I will not sue you for sexual harassment, you
Ooh.
cannot sue me for sexual harassment,
Oh.
we both agree that we're dating, and we're dating on the job, and we're taking a chance. Okay?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that protocol was.
Well, some companies are doing
typical
that.
business protocol nowadays to curb sexual harassment down the road. If someone's having a bad day, they're fighting. You know, hear someone yelling at each other at work or.
Well, sexual harassment, that's a whole nother topic within itself. I've, over my days, have had to learn how to cut my comments. You used to say, "Oh my
jokes,
God,
jokes, yeah.
you look beautiful today," and then it's like, "Uh-oh."
If they didn't,
I might get a call from human
and
resources
jokes
that
are
I'm
very,
flirting,
Jokes
And
are
it's
bad.
so sad,
like
man.
they say, you
just-
shouldn't be telling jokes because what is funny to one person is completely maybe not funny to someone else.
Well, I think we've kind of,
And it's sad, but it's
sometimes we
true.
take things way too
it's
far.
True. It's true.
You know,
Some people say,
Hey, what
joke-
happened to the day where you could just give a person a nice comment? Oh, you
Yeah.
look nice today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and keep it
there's,
clean.
Right,
clean
there's nothing
jokes.
behind it other than you look nice today.
Yeah, you can have the clean jokes at
But
work.
no,
you know.
you can't do that.
Not even clean jokes.
Well, smaller companies are real cool with that. Everybody's throwing their
the kind that the
best,
minister gives at church.
effort into the
that,
basket to make sure that we all make this company successful. So a lot of them are okay with it, but
Well, I think
we've got to get to the day
think-
where we can give each other a compliment
I know.
without feeling uncomfortable about the compliment that we just gave.
Yeah, I actually think if I couldn't joke around with the people I work with, I don't think I'd want to even go.
You wouldn't
I
want
wouldn't.
to work there?
I wouldn't, because you got to be able to say those leggings again, haha. You got to be able to laugh and joke. You have to be able to be friends. I mean, kind of friendly, or it's pretty boring, I think.
Where is the most outrageous place that you met someone that you never would have expected?
At Bella Terra.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a really nice croissant restaurant.
A croissant
Yeah.
restaurant. Okay, they
Out
just
of the
make
blue.
croissants. Okay, so what happened?
I don't know. He just said, "You're a good-looking woman. You probably wouldn't have any problem finding a roommate." Because I was talking on the phone to somebody, I need a roommate, and then
Oh,
I turn
so you
around
were-
and this person says, "You probably wouldn't have a problem finding a roommate," and that was the most unusual place I ever met anybody.
Okay, so he was
10 minutes later, he was at my place. I was showing him my apartment.
okay. Now you took a leap of faith in doing
Yes, I did.
that because you
Total
didn't know this
stranger.
man. He could have been an axe
Yeah,
murderer.
3% about the person. I mean,
Okay,
how they
but-
look. That's it.
But you trusted him
Yeah.
to bring him to your home because he too was looking for a place to stay.
Well, I didn't know that really, but his comment, I don't know what it was about the way he was. It was a person that I felt good with immediately.
Okay.
And
so,
I respond- I-
so
I
you
had
trusted your gut,
Yes.
your inner soul. That is the voice of spirit.
Yes.
When we trust our intuition, spirit is speaking to us. We have to trust our intuition. Intuition can say, "No, this is not a person I want to align myself with," or spirit will say, "This is a person maybe I would like to get to know." So you got to trust that.
Yeah.
If you're asking spirit to lead and guide you, when the opportunity comes, let it happen.
Right.
Be free with it.
and I
we only
actually-
get one shot at this thing called life. Let's make the best of it.
I actually-
we want you to live your best life right now,
Yeah. And actually,
and you can.
later in my living room when he was talking or I was talking, something was happening. Suddenly, I looked at him and I recognized something. I recognized a person that I wanted to know, or that my kind of person.
Okay.
That was my kind of person. And come to find out, a lot of compatibility, and it was just a gut reaction. And also courses and seminars in the forum and the S training, things that I'd taken years ago when I was a kid, and throughout my 20s and 30s that I really empowered me in my life. And he had also had things like that. He did in the same, and it was very perfect. It's like I recognized that person.
Okay. So to wrap our show up,
and I've got one last statement.
Oh man,
People.
you don't like to talk,
Oh,
do you?
2
You don't have
seconds.
no comments.
I got
do you?
no comments.
Okay.
People who work on their internal healing is the new sexy.
People who work on their internal healing is the new sexy.
Yeah.
Where are you gonna find this person?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Anybody.
the new sexy. I'm bringing sexy back, but I'm working on internal healing. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, we're closing out, and in closing out,
I'll
I
pray
just
for
like
you.
to say, yes.
I'll pray for you.
You pray for
You
me.
pray for me.
We're all a part of God's family.
God's family.
This family.
This family.
Okay. And
Bye from Gregarious Joy.
and let there be peace on earth.
Let it begin.
And let it
with me.
begin with me. Peace and blessings.
Bye, everybody.
See you next week.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.